fellow photographer, how's it going? I'm Michael Zelbel. When I was planning this particular episode, then I thought I'll be talking about an on-location photo shoot. But when I now really think about it, then I'm actually talking about the opposite. It's a non-location shoot. I mean, the shoot might have happened on location, but the photos look like they were taken in a regular photo studio, on a neutral background. I think it's very powerful if you can turn a location into something like a regular photo studio with a neutral background. For instance, for today's photo shoot, my cousins Lutz and Ümit from Tony and Guy, they asked me to shoot some of their special hairdos, and they needed these photos to look like they were taken in a photo studio. Some of them isolated shoots on white background, others on a gray background. I said, okay, let's do it in my photo studio, but for making this sort of hairdos, they need tons of stuff. They need things like washing basins for the hair, boatloads of chemicals, a lot of tools. So turning my photo studio into a hair salon, it's very hard for them. So we thought about the other way around. How hard is it for me to turn their hair salon into my photo studio? And that is actually very easy. All I need is a mobile background which I can set up on location. And what I use as such a mobile background is simply large cotton cloths, 3 by 6 meter pieces of cotton, which are white or neutral gray, and they're hanging on a background rod, which is on some light stands. Now that's very easy to set up, it's very easy to transport, and I prefer this fabric backgrounds over paper on location because paper, it's very hard to handle. It's hard to transport, it's not flexible. A lot of times the locations, they don't give me enough space. And then if I've got a paper background which is wider than the space which is there, then I cannot shoot with it. Fabric is very flexible. It doesn't directly break when I handle it wrong. It doesn't break when there's something uneven on the ground. It's very forgiving. Let's have a look at the setup of today's photo shoot. This was actually one of the cases where I came with a 3 meter background, but we had to bring it down to 2 meters and 230 centimeters because we just didn't have enough space. Nevertheless, we could set it up, we could place the model in the middle, and we were firing some speedlights or 2 speedlights into the background, both on half of their power, so it's a lot of power, and one of them was on a 1.80 meter light stand, so it's shooting from on top, and the other one shooting up from the ground. The model is lit from 2 sides with shoot-through umbrellas. Speedlights are on 1/4 of their power, so it's less power than the background lights. And the light is very flat and very even. It's ideal for beauty shoots or for something like hairdos. And when we turned to full body shoots, then we also usually used a fill light, which was a speed light somewhere on the ground with a shoot-through umbrella over it, or sometimes we just used a reflector. The camera was on f8 and on ISO 160 to have as little noise as possible, because when you're shooting hair and you want to see every detail in the hair, then you want hair and not noise. That's on 1/200th of a second to sync nicely with the speed lights. That's the setting. When you now go and get something like this fabric background, you can get expensive stuff. For instance, you can get the rod from Manfrotto, which is excellent because it doesn't bend, but you can also get uber cheap stuff from eBay. For instance, in this shoot, I used 2 background systems which were really, really cheap from eBay, and they are working as well. Just do yourself a favor. When you buy something, then go for an adjustable rod, which you can, adjust to whatever space you have on location, because otherwise you will run into problems sooner or later. One thing you should pay attention to is when you're shooting on fabric, it's knittering very easily. For instance, when we have a look at the feet over here, they love to hide behind some folds, so pay attention to that one. Other than that, it's very easy to do. So try it out yourself, and I wish you good light.
Cheesecake. Okay, cool. Hey. Hey.